Michael Myers or Norman Bates? Norman Bates. Hey, hello everybody. Thank you for joining me today. I do truly appreciate it. Today is swell. Nothing too bad happened, but something really good happened. The friendly neighborhood mail lady had nothing to do with this story. There's a store in Lando Lakes with an O and an apostrophe, Florida, called Camelot Books. Ever hear of it? Well, Camelot Books has hooked a brother up. Suntup Editions, one of my very favorite publishers, walking God's green earth. Paul Suntup does phenomenal work. Love them folks. But anyway, Suntup Editions published a book called Psycho by Robert Bloch. Ever hear of it? Well, I haven't. I read this book and I do truly love it. And I also truly love the movie, the Alfred Hitchcock film based on the book, starring Anthony Perkins and Janet Leigh. And I've already shown you a video unboxing the Suntup Editions Artist Edition of Psycho, as well as I did a bucket list of books video showing you the signed numbered edition from Gauntlet Press of Psycho, signed in person by Robert Bloch, and I think Matheson signed that one as well, I think, but I can't remember for sure. However, when the numbered edition was available, I did not have a number for Psycho, and therefore was not able to order directly from Suntup Editions. But what I did do was I contacted the great folks, Kim and Tony at Camelot Books in Lando Lakes, Florida, and said, "Can you?" And they said, okay. So they reserved a numbered edition copy for me. So what I'm about to do is an unboxing of a book that's, I guess, technically in a box. It's not in a shipping box of any sort. It's actually in a bag. But Suntup Editions put it in a box. And we'll show you that enclosure and all that kind of stuff. So if I wanted to get technical, it's in a box and I'm going to unbox it. Anyway, there we go. It doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter. It's just semantics. But I'm excited for this. This is one of the Suntup Editions books. This is one of the books, period, with a capital P, that I've been most excited for, because I do love this book. The Robert Bloch book, there's folks out there that will say the book's not that great. It's not as good as the movie. And I strenuously disagree. The book was fabulous, phenomenal. If you like the movie, I think the book is, gosh, it's hard to say because it's Alfred Hitchcock, but I like the book better, and I'll tell you why just briefly. Because in the movie, great movie, I love the movie, love Alfred Hitchcock, but there were things that didn't quite make sense to me. Like, why would Mary Crane think she could get away with it? Why would she, on the spur of the moment, just steal all that money? Think she could drive off and get away with it? What were her plans? She seemed to have no plans. In the book, she did. And they were pretty logical, and they probably would have worked, at least for a long time. Probably till after she's dead. They might have figured out what happened, perhaps. But I think what I like best about the movie was Anthony Perkins playing Norman Bates. Anthony Perkins was phenomenal. The character in Norman Bates was described considerably different. He wasn't what people would have at the time considered a handsome young man or anything like that. Other than Anthony Perkins' portrayal of Norman Bates, I think pretty much everything in the book I liked better. Janet Leigh was phenomenal, but that character wasn't really fleshed out well enough for me. I always felt like there was kind of a gap in the logic in her character and her part of the story. In the movie, in the book, it's very clear. But digressions aside, I want to show you this book. This is, when you order stuff from Camelot, they'll usually wrap it in wrapping paper, package it up nicely, put it in a big box, and mail it to you. I live close by, so when I order stuff, they send me an email, I pay for it, and then I'll say, hey, can I stop in today? And if they're available today, I'll stop in, because they're not really a store that's just open to the public. People go there by appointment, but typically they sell stuff in the mail. But I sometimes they'll let people make an appointment, stop in, pick up junk, But when I go in, they invite me to look around. And when I look around, I find a bunch of stuff that I ought to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on. And this time I escaped with my wallet intact. I already paid for this book, but I bought this book and left. Another benefit of Camelot books, by the way, is you don't pay until you're ready to get the book. So sometimes you pre-order a book from companies like Cemetery Dance or Dark Regions Press, and it might be 10 years before they publish the book actually, if that. Well, you don't pay for it up front and they keep your money for 10 years. You pay Camelot Books when the book comes in. And if they never ever print or publish that book, which seems like a possibility sometimes, you're never going to be out a dime for the book itself. But let me open this up. Typically, Suntup ships them in a box and form-fitted foam. They do the best packing of anybody out there. There's others that do it equally, perhaps, as well, but nobody does it better anyway. And they'll have it in a bag that's taped up. So mine comes in a bag that's taped up because I reckon they probably shipped Camelot several of these all in a box. So as you take it out, take the book out, I'll set this to the side for a moment. The Irata. When they originally planned this book, can you read that? When they originally planned this book, their plan was to publish 350 copies. After getting the signature pages signed, which I'll show you, they decided that they're only going to publish 250 numbered copies. So this Irata, however you say that word, as a correction to the information on the colophon page, the numbered edition of Psycho by Robert Bloch is limited to 250 copies. So this will go in my book right next to the colophon page so that forever and ever I'll remember that there were only 250 copies. In this package, they also, sometimes, Suntup includes some little extra trinkets. They included a couple Suntup stickers. Neat. And maybe I would love to just stick these on things. But they came with my Psycho book, so I'll just probably stick them in the box in which the Psycho book will live. Hopefully, forever and ever. Additionally, Suntup Editions sends their books with bookmarks and sometimes two baby bookmarks. And these bookmarks will be custom to the book and they'll include artwork from the book itself. And this one came with two. And you have Mother right here. Psycho by Robert Bloch, illustrated by, introduction by Joe R. Lansdale, one of my very favorite authors, Walking God's Green Earth, who also signed this numbered edition, illustrated by Greg Kreutz. Greg Kreutz did 6 interior illustrations for this book. And then you have over here, the house behind Bates Motel, as well as Bates Motel in the foreground. Psycho by Robert Bloch, all the other stuff, illustrated by Greg Kreutz. Jacket printing by Paul Mann. So the artist edition dust jacket artwork was painted by Paul Mann, and this numbered edition, as a neat feature, has the artist edition dust jacket in a fold out, and I'll show you that also here in a moment. But the exciting part, what I came here, was the book. And this book is one of a kind, as far as I know, at least one of a kind for Suntup Editions. It's in a 4-flap fold-out case made covered in Japanese cloth. And let's see what you can see. A beautiful label. And I love this kind of silver. It's like the slipcase for the artist edition. But you can see the texture and the color in there. Just beautiful. And then on the spine, so when I put it on the shelf, this is what it looks like. So again, you can see the color and the texture on that label there. So just good looking stuff. Looks great. A beautiful box. And I'm going to try to do this without dropping anything. If I drop this book, be prepared for bad words. So if bad words bug you, plug your ears. I'm not going to edit it. I'm going to just let it fly because I deserve it. Dropping a book like this, I deserve it. Anyway, 4-flap fold out. And here's kind of what you see. There's one flap. And you can see how it holds there, unfolds all the way. And this red velour, it is beautiful lining in here. Man, it's nice. Feel it. Gosh, it's nice. Velour, I love that word. And then the 4 flaps. So we'll unfold, flap number 2. Voila. And then we have flap number 3. Can you see that? I almost said a bad word. Flap number 4. All velour. So nice. So beautiful. Stop getting around, guy. And let's check this thing out right here. So here is our book. It is a quarter-bound goatskin leather. Take a look at that spine. It's so shiny and black. It's almost a shame that you're hiding that beautiful spine inside of that amazing 4-flap fold-out box. But hey, it's still awesome. Look at that spine. Man, it looks so good. I love that black leather and deeply embossed Psycho Robert Bloch. And then I don't know if you could quite see it there. That red knife like the one I borrowed from my wife. This is a Wusthof classic. Cost a few bucks, but she's worth it. Anyway, you also have Japanese cloth covered boards. And look at that. This is embossed. That's stamped in. You can feel it sink in. The red, the black, and the knife there. Looks so nice. Just beautiful. And there's our binding. You can see the red leather tail bands and headbands. That's hard to, I don't know if you can see it very well in the video, but they look so good. So nice. I got you. And it's Smith's own binding, as always. There's our end papers there. Cool, man. I'm excited about this one. Hey, check this out. So right here we have a tipped in image photo of the author Robert Bloch. This, I already told you, introduction by Joe R. Lansdale, illustrated by Greg Kreutz. And this is printed letterpress with metal type on mold-made Somerset book. What does that mean? I don't know, but just check it out. Feel it. Feels so good. I can feel it. That letterpress is pressed. I mean, if I had enough dexterity and the mental acuity, I could close my eyes and read this book. But I don't have the tactile function or the mental acuity for such things. But just absolute beauty. And the paper feels amazing. It's thick paper. I mean, Psycho is a short book. And you can see how thick this is. And this paper is thick. And it's nice. And that letterpress feels so good. I don't know. I probably, if I have, I can't, it doesn't come to mind right now, had a book in hand that the paper felt this good and this thick. And it is just, it's too sweet. Too sweet for me. Better than I deserve. And this introduction here by Joe Lansdale, Big Bear Manor, Nacogdoches, Texas. There's the end of that introduction there. And then Psycho. So what I want to do here now is take a look at some of these. Man, just look. That's so good. Feel it. Feels good. I want to take a look at these interior illustrations as well as the color fold out. But before I do that, let's go to the back. Suntup Editions puts a colophon page in the back of the book, almost always. And there it is. Mine is signed, and it is numbered 212. This says numbered 1 through 350, but I already showed you the Irata page. Only 250 actually published. It's signed in person by Joe R. Lansdale, one of my favorite authors walking God's green earth, artist Greg Kreutz, and artist Paul Mann. And we'll show you them artists' artwork here directly. Now I'm going to flip through. There is a fold out, so I could probably find it quick, perhaps, depending on how good the fingers do the walking. Maybe not right away, but there it is. It's in the back here, I think. I've uncovered her. There's our fold out in the back, and I want to be careful by showing you this. This is the dust jacket artwork from the artist edition. It folds out. Nice and neat. I love that artwork. It is so beautiful. I ended up keeping my artist edition with that artwork on the outside instead of flipping it, showing the first edition artwork, the original stuff like I was originally going to. But who knows? I might change my mind at some point. Now, lastly, I'd like to show you the interior illustrations in here. And when I talked about Norman Bates and Anthony Perkins, this doesn't look like Anthony Perkins, Norman Bates. This more closely fits the description of Norman Bates in the book. He's not an attractive, slender young man. He is not. He's much, much different. And it does fit the character perhaps better, but Norman Bates was just so good. Anthony Perkins was so good as Norman Bates, I should say. But let's look through here and find the rest of the story, as they say. And I feel like I'm missing this picture here, and I don't want to miss a thing. So let me, gosh, cover your eyes, darling. And anyway, there's Mary Crane. The infamous shower scene is about to take place, and the artwork here is so good, just fabulous. Suntup Editions, as they usually do, has really put it all together here. A phenomenal book. I love this book, but when Suntup Editions gets a hold of it, and the artist edition was great, I can only imagine what the lettered edition will be like. But I'm a numbered guy. I need to stay in my lane. I'm not a lettered guy, just not there. But they put together an unbelievable package here. Between the quality, the fold-out case, the quality construction, the beautiful materials, the thick, amazing paper, the letterpress printing, and then the interior illustrations, the fold-out, they made, it's like a trifecta, but you multiply that times 6. So what's a sixfecta? A sixfecta, something like that. They did a sixfecta. I'm going to invent that, even though it's so ignorant of a term. They did the sixfecta, where they put all the stuff, all 6 things, maybe a sevenfecta. Man, it's just great artwork. Maybe this is a sevenfecta, but they put all these things together in a package that I would say absolutely phenomenal. Flippin' fabulous. Just can't be better. I want to say a perfect package. Perfect, yeah. It's one heck of a concoction by Suntup Editions, and it can't get much better than this. And there's the back end paper. So when I think about books on my shelves that are unflippin' believable, I'm talking about the Suntup Editions, numbered editions in my collection. I've got a lot of great books from great publishers that I truly love, but I think the best publications that I have are Suntup Editions, numbered editions, and this has got to be at or among the very best in terms of putting it all together. A great book, great construction, great artwork, the paper, the letterpress printing, this box that it comes in. It's more than a guy like me deserves. And I know deserves got nothing to do with it. You pay the freight, you get the thing, but it's just so sweet. For all of those of you who like this book and you want the best version of it possible, and you're not a lettered guy, this is the book right here for you. The only way this could possibly be any better is if they made it 30 years ago. Published just like this, and they got Robert Bloch to sign it. But the problem is, it would be probably a $1,500 or a $2,000 book at this point, and I wouldn't be buying it because I'm not paying that much money for a book. So we can't go back in time. Unfortunately, we can't bring people back. So you can't get a better version of this book today unless you go get your lettered edition, and I'm just not there. So in my mind, I cut that part off. They don't exist, and this is just as good as it gets. So that being said, I can think of no more lies to tell. So thank you for your time. I do truly appreciate it. C'est la vie, baby. Doo-doo. If I could walk on water, would you believe in me? If I could walk on